Six-time Premier of Sri Lanka, Ranil Wickremesinghe, is the 8th executive president of the island nation. In the voting that took place in the Sri Lankan parliament, he got 134 votes as against 82 that the principal opposition candidate, Dallas Ala Peruma, was able to secure, and just 3 that the left leader, Anura Kumara Disanaike, was able to secure. And this shows in the 225-member parliament in Sri Lanka, Ranil Wickremesinghe got the maximum votes. But he does have a massive task ahead of him. Sri Lanka is bankrupt. The country is in deep trouble. India, of course, has bailed Sri Lanka out with a $3.8 billion worth assistance, not just in deferred payments of $1.8 billion, but also assistance in terms of petrol and fuel in general, oil, food, medicines, gas, essential supplies. All of them are being supplied to Sri Lanka, and fertilizers that Sri Lanka so desperately requires. Now, Ranil Wickremesinghe has tried to distance himself from the unpopular decisions and policies of his predecessor, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, especially when it comes to the sorry situation Sri Lanka is in at this point of time. And there were a number of decisions that Gotabaya Rajapaksa had taken, including either reduction of taxes, which reduced government's income, or going organic on farming, which meant farm yields reduced. There weren't enough organic farming material available for farmers, and this adversely impacted farming in Sri Lanka from cardamom to tea. And now India has provided fertilizers. More fertilizers are required. Fertilizers to an extent have been made available to farmers to ensure at least in the coming months and years their yield, their crop yield improves. As far as the people are concerned, in thousands, people are lining up at the immigration office to get a passport, and then outside various embassies to get a visa to leave this country to look for a better future. In some instances, people are leaving their parents and their elderly behind to be able to look for a brighter future overseas, and then be able to send back money into Sri Lanka, that this country, foreign exchange that this country so desperately requires. A major task for Ranil Wickremesinghe would be to secure an IMF bailout. A couple of days ago, he did say that talks with IMF are in an advanced stage, but that would also indicate that taxes will go up, prices of fuel will go up, prices of electricity and other essentials will go up, and people in Sri Lanka are already suffering. Bus fares, for example, have gone up from 10 rupees for the first 3 kilometers to 40 rupees. The apprehension is they may go up even more. Electricity bills may be higher, and people who are already suffering. Now, some of these decisions may be extremely unpopular, but they may have to be taken in the weeks and months ahead. A challenge also remains to revive the economy. Sri Lanka depends a lot on foreign tourists, but they would look for stability. They would look for peace and calm in a country in case foreign tourists are to visit. And that would be a major challenge for Ranil Wickremesinghe. But a huge challenge for him would also be to convince the angry street that he's not more of the past that is continuing in the present and the future, a clean break from the Rajapaksa administration, and that to convince the angry street is easier said than done. As of now, the protesters are to meet once again and decide their next course of action. They wanted an opposition candidate and had indicated so that they are watching the vote in Parliament very carefully. Now that Parliament has voted in favor of Ranil Wickremesinghe, will a solution continue to be found within the existing constitution as MPs wanted, or as the angry street wants a clean change and a new dawn? Easier said than done. Will Sri Lanka see revival? Will Sri Lanka be on the road to revival, or will there be more protests in the days and weeks ahead? From Ground Zero, we will continue to get to the latest with cameraman Kripal Singh in Colombo, Sri Lanka, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today Newsmo.